Welcome to Digital Hospitality. I am your host, Shawn Walchef. This is a Cali BBQ Media production, and this is Inside the Coaching Call with my mentor, David Meltzer. David, welcome to the show.
I love the fact that you have learned to be a student of the calendar, to be on the measure. You just start right up. You don't waste any time. You know the 5:20 rule. You know that all interviews last about 20 minutes and that every other minute spent is just visiting. And unless you want to visit with me, you're better off visiting with the friends, the family that are desperate for your time, attention, and intention. So congratulations, my friend, Shawn Walchef, the Cali barbecue expert, the media expert. How do you take something so mundane and so boring and make it huge? Ask Shawn Walchef, because he's doing it today with the stage theory and an expert at being a student of your calendar.
So, David, I'm going to share a story because we love lessons and stories, things that I've learned through the stage theory, through my time working with Dave, building my restaurant business into a media business. I just got back from Boston. So I was in Boston because I am on the Toast Customer Advisory Board. Toast is a primary technology partner of the restaurant. They are a publicly traded company. They are in 100,000 restaurants across not only the United States, but they also have international markets that they have opened up. I have two shows with Toast. Restaurant Influencers is sponsored by Toast. I also have another show called Family Style, which is on YouTube, which is produced by Cali Barbecue Media, hosted by myself, and I got to bring the stage theory. I got to bring my media team, my production team to Boston during these customer advisory board meetings. I got to interview Kelly Eston, who is the new chief marketing officer for the show that we produce for them. I got to do a behind the scenes tour of Toast headquarters, 6 stories, brand new office in the Seaport District of Boston. And one of the most incredible things for me is thinking about compounding interest. You've taught me about Noah's Ark and that most people don't believe in 2 by 2 by 2. And that's not anything biblical, but that has everything to do with compounding interest. And when I think about the conversations that I had at Toast headquarters in 2024, I got to meet some of the most incredible minds of the Toast team in India. So there is a team of engineers and finance, fintech people in India. And he was telling me a story. He's been watching my content, following me on LinkedIn for the last 2 years. He couldn't believe that he got to meet me in person. And he was telling me about building out the team in India, going from 30 engineers to 150 to now they have 300 in 2 different countries. And Toast isn't live for restaurants in India yet. But when we get to the point where Toast has restaurants that are live in India, I cannot imagine where we will be through the lessons that David is teaching of the incredible infinite universe and the abundance that we live in. I can't tell you, Dave, how excited I was to meet someone from India who knew me because of content, because of storytelling, somebody from the UK where Toast is also in, knowing that I watch what you do all around the globe, building micro communities, building big communities. Why do you think now is the greatest time to be doing what we do in B2B storytelling?
Well, because the size, scope, and scale of the audience is unfathomable. And the idea of building a community, 2 people at a time that are going to buy from you and sell for you for life, is an extraordinary opportunity that never existed before. In order to facilitate the social silo of your personal brand, professional brand, solution, service, etc., which is explicitly valuable within the context of the hospitality vertical, that most people don't understand where they should have their attention, where they should be writing on their mirror. Not only should they put thank you, so when they brush their teeth every morning, that they remember the gratitude, the ability to find the light, the love, and lessons to what other people aren't aware of what they're given for all that they have given. But even more importantly, the next thing down should be community. The word community, because this social silo that you have the potential of utilizing a stage theory where you're capturing what you do best, you're capturing your essence, your skills, your knowledge, and your desire. And then through very inexpensive means today, beyond the capture, which is so easy. I just bought, by the way, a gimbal that is so inexpensive. A gimbal is a stabilizing holder for your iPhone.
Yes.
Notating that when I started this gig, it would take me approximately $1 million a year to do what my iPhone does. But beyond that, I now have a gimbal that has tracking capability. So it has a Bluetooth connection to the phone and the mechanism so that only does it stabilize, but I put it when I spoke yesterday at the University of Oregon championship football program with Dan Lanning, the head coach, and got to speak
Wow.
to not only the foundation, the coaches, but the entire team. And got to see Phil Knight's new $430 million that he's putting into a practice facility. But I was able, with one person traveling with me, to handle the giving out of the books, signing of books, but also beyond the team of people that Oregon had filming and capturing in the stage theory, just an extraordinary experience and day that started at Nike and then moved over to the University of Oregon in Eugene to a fundraising event at lunch with Dan Lanning and I doing a fireside chat, moving to a team dinner that I got to attend. And then I got what was called the Real Deal for an hour to keynote for the team and all the coaches, and then go to another private dinner afterwards. But I had this gimbal that's not only stabilized my iPhone, but it tracked me. So as I moved around the stage, the camera moved on the gimbal for less than $300. Are you kidding me? So with my less than $300 digi mics that have self-recording on the actual mics that we were wearing, with my new gimbal that tracked me around on a tripod that fit into my backpack, like I'm doing more than what used to cost me $1 million a year. So when I put community up on my mirror in the morning, every single day, reminding myself of the gratitude of the extraordinary opportunity that never existed before. You know, I'm watching a lot of the Netflix programs about World War II and the Holocaust and all the horrific things in our past. But as horrific as it was, I just keep thinking, you know, it's bad enough that all these people were tortured and killed, but more importantly, they were denied the access to an unfathomable size community that we are. So I want everyone out there to rethink their skills, their knowledge, and desire. I want them to prioritize gratitude on their mirror, number one, and community, number two.
Hey everyone, Avi Gorin, CEO and co-founder of Marquee, and I want to talk about the customer journey for a second. You never know as a restaurant owner where your guests are truly coming from. End of the day, we do see some patterns around two types of search behaviors: direct versus discovery. Direct search, for an example, would be jumping into Google and saying Cali barbecue hours, right? I know where I want to go to eat, but I'm missing a key detail. I need a little bit more information. Discovery, which is the bulk of searches, is barbecue in San Diego, restaurants near me, takeout near me, right? One of the best ways to be found for more discovery searches is leveraging keywords. Reviews are basically free content for you to leverage. Think about keywords that are relevant to your brand, your location, and include as many of those in your review responses as possible, right? How can you go about doing this? Let's set up reports, utilize tools like Google Trends, find out what's going on in your area and how you can help leverage these keywords and review responses, because someone else is doing that, right? If you need some examples, you could do anything from including summer menu, gluten-free menu, leverage specific menu items like the dreaded and beloved spice pumpkin anything in your review responses, right? Let them know what's coming. Let your reviewers know something they should come back and try. And of course, if all of this just seems overwhelming and daunting because you're already running a restaurant and have enough on your plate, just leverage the team at Marquee to do this for you. We handle all of this. We're experts in this space. We can automate this so it's just another item that you know you are taking care of. Again, that's marquee.com, marquii.com. Know you. However, we did recently buy marquii.com. So if you do misspell it, we got you. You'll still find us. We can still help you.
Share more about community and how do you build community when there is no community?
Well, you have a community, and it may just be a very few amount of people, but I utilize an open-ended uh, template, an open-minded, open-ended question template in order to facilitate growing a community of people that want to help each other and know people that can help each other. And it starts with understanding how community is driven and built on value. And understanding that, as I've always said, there's only two ways to provide value: give people more of what they like or take away what they don't like. And so for me, and I'll be happy to send the template, david@dmeltzer.com, david@dmeltzer.com. I'll send everyone the open-ended question template that helps you to learn, hey, what are you doing today about barbecue? What are you doing today in media? What are you doing today in hospitality and media? What are you doing today with barbecue, hospitality, and media and toast? Whatever you're doing today, and do you like about it? What's going well? What's difficult for you? Where do you see your biggest challenges, your struggles? And would it help you if
Yeah.
I was able to capture what you do every day, modify it, amplify it, and perpetuate to create your own community of people that are going to buy from you and sell for you for life? Can you think of any reason why you won't want to move forward? I don't think so.
I love that you just talked about today. We just had a digital hospitality. So on LinkedIn, twice a week, we meet with a digital hospitality community of leaders from all over the globe. I do it on LinkedIn Live. We're repurposing it for digital hospitality. But one of the questions we ask specifically is, what are you working on today? Because if they're working on it today, it should be important. One of the powerful unlocks and the lessons that I've learned is that many people don't talk about what they're working on today.
Exactly. And you know why it's so important as well? Because one, it's an indicator that people know what's important to them. Also, two, what they're prioritizing, because knowing our now is statistically 100% successful, because 100% of the things you do now get done, which means they're relative, they're prioritized, and they're important, which means they have more value than anything else that you can talk about. And one of the other things that's a nuance or a subtlety in the success of knowing your now, Shawn, is that the minute you come to an agreement with self, the minute you prioritize and know your now, the minute you come to an implied, written, a oral agreement in consideration past of some sort, whether it's money or value of any type, that time, emotion, and value changes immediately. So statistically, if you're not talking about the now, you are creating a gap, a distance of resistance, because time, emotion, and value has changed. And if we're talking about a year from now, 10 years from now, we're looking at a situation that is completely different. And so the decisions of today, the prioritization of today, and our actions of today, the doing it now, mean nothing the further we go into the past, or even more importantly, the further we talk about the future.
Do you have any structured, consistent mentorship calls with your mentor?
I absolutely do. So I have three different mentors at this time. One, Dr. Meeta Singh, who's my sleep mentor. So I have scheduled calls and I have unscheduled calls for the travel that I'm doing this week. Little light on travel, only a couple of different states. Next week, insane, going from New York to Atlanta to Boca to Miami and back to Orange County. So we have quite a hectic schedule. So that schedule time is at least with that mentor once a week, but I have non-time scheduled for when I need questions with the alternative travel that I do. My business coach and I, we follow a format of every other week. Once again, one of the requirements that I put on my mentors is they guarantee value and they're accessible 7 days a week. Doesn't mean they're accessible when I call 7 days a week, but they're accessible 7 days a week. And then I have my finance mentor. So beyond the business of how to scale my business, deal with employees, set up structurally the business, I have my own personal finance mentor. And so that mentor, we meet a minimum of once a month, but also accessible. So during tax season and other different bigger opportunities that I'm involved with, I utilize that finance mentor in that means as well. So I firmly believe the reason I lost everything is I didn't ask for help. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't find people that sat in a situation that I wanted to be in and ask them for directions. I'll put it back onto you as we finish up, my brother. How much money? Let's just talk quantitative, and go ahead. Don't be afraid of hurting my feelings. But in the coaching that we have done, quantitatively, how much money do you think I have made you or saved you in whatever amount of years we've been working together?
25x, 25x conservative.
25.
Probably
So
more 100, more probably no. 25x is conservative, I think.
good. And even if it was 10 times X, can you think of any reason or any way you wouldn't want to invest in somebody that guarantees profit for you and delivers over 10 times what you've invested? And that's what you want to make sure that your mentor does for you. And I know you mentor so many other people, and they give me the same feedback. Thank you so much for referring, Shawn. Thank you so much for having us do that with him, because I'm receiving an exponentiality of value. He's a huge profit center. And it's because you do guarantee what you know. And that's why so many more people, your community keeps doubling faster and faster. It keeps doubling. And it's exciting for me because that's my mission, to empower people like Shawn Walchef, to empower others, to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. And I see you doing that.
David Meltzer, I appreciate you. The rising tide lifts all ships. You are recruiting other ships. I am honored to be one of those ships. And I can't wait to see what our next call brings. I can't wait to see what we continue to build. It's been magical. I had goosebumps in Boston, to be honest with you, to think about all how far we've come, what you've helped me accomplish, and knowing that this is nothing compared to where we're going. So thank you so much.
Keep up the great work. The incredible Shawn Walchef. Check out Cali Barbecue Media. He's doing it here with Inside the Coaching Call. I can't wait to see you next.
Appreciate you, Dave. Thank you.